Welcome to Kenny Quest First Ride, where I test ride motorcycles I've never ridden before, in the hopes that I find the perfect motorcycle for me. This time, I am riding a 2023 Lowrider S. All reactions are authentic and based on my past experience. I'm a newer rider. I ride a 2021 Harley Davidson Iron 883 Sportster with a Stage 1 upgrade, and a vintage 1996 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail Special that I fixed up and made road ready. Links to those playlists in the description below. Let's ride. Alright, on the Lowrider S, I'm 6 foot tall, 32-inch inseam. As you can see, my knees are bent and my feet are firmly flat on the ground. Standard Harley Davidson layout. With the Lowrider S, you get the cruise control, which is awesome, and you get the new dial. They've taken it off the tank, which was the way up till 2021, and then 2022 and 2023 it's on a riser. Looks to be like a 2 or 3 inch riser with the round gauge, and basically toggle through the menu. You got your trip A, your trip B, your range for your fuel, which is nice, your clock, and your RPM, which also is right here on the tack. I love this display. I like it a lot more so far than the one that comes with the ST version of this. So you got your gas filler cap right here, tank size, you get the 5-gallon tank, you got your preload adjustment here for your front suspension, and preload for the rear is either under, yep. So the preload does not have the external reservoir like some of the other models do, so you're gonna have to use your spanner underneath. With the engine off, just sitting here, the bike seems, very light in comparison to other Harley Davidson models. Feels a tad bit heavier than my current Softail Heritage that I ride, which is a 27-year-old Softail Heritage from the 90s. The layout aesthetically for the cockpit I find very simple, very pleasing. The wiring that they have under here is all in these plastic heat sheaths, tastefully run down the center in this hole, so you don't see a lot of wiring. It's in black. The only thing that I would tell Harley to improve upon with this setup is on the tank bib. This hex bolt, it needs to have some type of medallion that you can fit right into the hex and just sit there and cover that, because to me that looks like it's unfinished. Alright, I like the bar height. It's a good reach. It's just slightly lower than shoulder height. Wow, doesn't give you that firm kick into first like I'm used to with my Softail. Alright guys, while I'm getting staged in line, let's go over some of the features of the 2023 Lowrider S. And my test unit that I'm riding today is in Vivid Black, which comes at an MSRP of $18,199. It's also available in a Pearl Sand White for a $525 additional dollars. ABS is optional at $950. The security system is standard. There's also $1,450 in freight and surcharges, plus any dealer fees, which varies by dealer. Lighting in the rear is an LED Zeppelin tail lamp with incandescent turn indicators. There's the solo seat. Seat height is 27 inches and triple clamp with gauge. Non-adjustable brake and clutch levers. The weight of the Lowrider S is 679 pounds wet. You get the bikini fairing on the Lowrider S, and I'll give you my opinion on that during the ride on how well it does against wind. Tire size is 19 inches in the front, 16 inches in the rear. You get a 5-gallon fuel tank with a reported 47 miles per gallon efficiency. It comes with the Big Sucker air cleaner, so basically 1/3 of a Stage 1. The exhaust type is a 2-into-2 shotgun exhaust. The engine is a Milwaukee 8 117 cubic inch with belt final drive, and it's reported to have 125 foot-pounds of torque. Harley doesn't release horsepower numbers, but it's reported to be around 90-95 horsepower. Up front you have 43mm inverted front forks. Brake-wise, you have 4-piston fixed front brakes with dual rotors, and you have a 2-piston floating rear. This rider is 5'8". As you can see, they can put their feet firmly on the ground with the 27-inch seat height, but notice how high their feet come up onto the pegs from the ground.
Woo! Okay. Yeah, the foot controls are up high. There's a confirmed click in a second. Embrace the clank. Standard indicators with Harley Davidson. You got your left indicator on the left, right indicator on the right. That shift lever is super high. So that's a difference. Okay, don't go, please. Good turning, that feels good. Alright, when you turn the throttle, it's responsive and it's got good engine braking, so it doesn't feel like I'm getting out of control. Yeah, it kind of lugs out of first unless you give it a little bit of throttle. It's just kind of the same thing I was experiencing with the Revolution Max engine. Surprised to feel it on the Softail. Alright, second gear. Third gear, okay. That's why I was lugging. I was in second gear at the stoplight. Well, there you go. You can get out from a stop in second without stalling. That's pretty cool. Yeah, just don't have that feeling between neutral and first and second to first. You get that clank in second, but the first you don't, which I find very odd. So you're up on this perch, that's how it feels. Knees bent. Definitely would need some kind of bunking or highway bar to stretch out for trips. They give you this high foot peg to give you a better lean angle. That's what it's all about. So the bike is set up 4 corners. Standard Harley rubber grips, they feel okay. They're not as thick as my Vans grips. The lever's a little farther out than what I'd like to feel, and they're non-adjustable. But you know, third gear, 45 miles per hour, pretty smooth. Alright, make sure I'm in first this time. Yep, first. Alright, now we got some speed going. Yeah. Feels good, feels a little bit more vibey than the Revolution Max engine, but it feels like the same amount of power. But the stance that you're in definitely allows you to be aggressive in the corners and feel in control. As far as wind buffeting, I'm getting a little bit under my chin, so it's a little bit lower than I experienced on the Nightster S with that bikini fairing. But when you keep the bike in a little bit higher rev range right before you shift into your next gear, it's an enjoyable vibe that it gives you. I like it. Of course, that's the signature of V-twin engines in general. But if you're a traditional Harley rider, you want to feel that. But everything else is very smooth on this Milwaukee 8 equipped machine. It's funny how when I let off the throttle, it kind of does this little dive down, like similar to when you're about to go into a corner and you load. I wonder if that's just my own realization of that, how pronounced it is, or something that Harley did on this motorcycle, since it's marketed to be the Canyon Carver. But as far as nimbleness and responsiveness, it'll dance. And like I said, I've only been riding for a couple of years. 2-year anniversary actually this month, last week. And initially I was very intimidated by the lowrider platform. I thought, well, all that power. And then when I bought my Softail, I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad. And of course that's an 83 cubic inch. This is 117. But at these speeds, you know, under 65, as long as you're in the right gear, that's giving you your safeguards as far as control and speed goes in a straight line. You just back off the throttle, you get yourself some engine braking. A little twisty action here. Yeah. Very confidence inspiring in the corners. Rear brake, a little spongy on the controls. Probably the brake's fine, but not as responsive as some of the other models that I've test ridden. so far. That road king sounds good, like it's got exhaust built in already. Sewing machine on this side. That's definitely got the better exhaust on it. This sounds like a freaking sewing machine. Needs an upgrade. That one sounds good. This one sounds like a sewing machine. Yeah, whatever they're doing with the Road King, that sounds great. I'll be riding that soon.
How's that one ride?
Good in the corners, man. The pegs are up high though, yeah, so you get that lean angle.
I don't like the filter, but it hits your knee.
Yeah? Haven't hit it yet. Yeah, so what he was mentioning is you got this.
I think my favorite is the Sportster S.
Yeah?
That thing's nice. The suspension sucks though.
Yeah? Yeah, the air sucker is right here. It's this big bulbous thing. Now you can change that out, of course. This was an upgrade for any bike over what they gave you stock, but on the Lowrider S and ST you get it standard. He mentioning that it was hitting his knee. I haven't experienced that yet. Woo! All right, 75 miles per hour, I guess. Fourth gear. Nice. Got there quick, just like the Revolution Max stuff. I keep bringing that up because that's what I test rode yesterday, and this is my first air-cooled on my test runs that I'm doing. Now that I've ridden this for 15-20 minutes, I feel settled in on it. The foot controls are feeling more familiar. First gear. It has the ability for full send, folks. Come on, dude. Yeah, I like the engine braking. All right, another opportunity for give her the beans. And that was mostly rear brake, so once you get used to it, I guess how it's set up, it works out fine. Love those tight corners. Yeah, I like how this corners. With my Heritage, I always feel like I'm going to scrape my floorboards, even though, for the record, I have not yet. I want to feel that sound, and I want to feel that and hear that sound, but it hasn't happened yet. So I would say don't let this bike intimidate you. If this is something that you want to get and you're passionate about this bike in the Harley lineup, I would definitely go for a test ride. Very nimble. All right, well, let me give you my final thoughts here. Harley Davidson Lowrider S. Definitely a setup for the caddy carver with the high foot pegs. Very nimble and has got plenty of power, so thumbs up.
I'm Kenny Quest. Thanks for watching. If you like Harley Davidson products, the Harley Davidson lifestyle, follow my channel, where I embark on a journey of a lifetime, diving headfirst into motorcycle culture, modifying my Harley Davidson motorcycles, traveling, and having a good time. If you like my vibe, I encourage you to subscribe. See you next time.